Welcome to this week's European Circle report. For the first time, Poland has taken over the rotating presidency of the Council of the European Union from Hungary on Friday, 1st of July. In Warsaw, the Hungarian Prime Minister, Viktor Orbán, handed over the flag and the baton for the European Union, symbolizing the presidency to his Polish counterpart, Donald Tusk. The Polish government celebrated its inauguration with great festivities and a swashbuckling army parade in Warsaw. EU representatives, diplomats and international economic leaders came together in Poland's embassies and consulates throughout the world, as seen here in the Berlin Polish embassy. Bringing its presidency of the EU Council to a close, Hungary also invited Berliners to a concert with Hungarian and Polish artists at Berlin's Brandenburg Gate. For its EU presidency, Poland has chosen a logo that symbolizes the national identity of the country. In 1989, the independent free labor union Solidarność was particularly involved in the collapse of the communist system in 1989. To show his appreciation, it was his personal wish to demonstrate the connection between the Polish identity and the Solidarność movement in the logo. During its presidency, Poland will focus on the economic union, the Eastern Partnership and the EU budget from 2014 to 2020. For Donald Tusk, an EU budget plan concentrating on many years to come is the most important instrument for the protection of durable economic growth. The negotiations about the EU budget begin with an informal meeting of the General Affairs Council on July 28th in Sopot, Poland. In addition, the Polish government also wants to discuss Bulgarian and Romanian accession to the Schengen Agreement. Hungary officially completed accession talks with Croatia on June 30th. In Warsaw, Polish Minister for Foreign Affairs Radosław Sikorski has already released information about his country's program of priorities. Sikorski will lead the General Affairs Council during the Polish presidency. Our first priority is to stimulate economic growth in Europe, since we believe that a lot follows on from that: stronger solidarity, more generosity between neighbors and a greater openness to EU enlargement. The European Council of Ministers has already approved Poland's program, guaranteeing Prime Minister Tusk full support in the following 6 months of the Polish chairmanship period. The Tusk cabinet takes over its leading role in the midst of the euro crisis and the austerity package for Greece. Last week, Tusk set out his priorities in the Frankfurter Allgemeine Zeitung, saying that Europe should take great measures in preventing the financial breakdown of some countries. Poland, still hesitating over its own accession to the eurozone, emerged strongly from the global market crisis in 2009. The country has doubled economic growth since its EU accession in 2004. While the Kaczynski government attracted negative attention with its anti-European policy, Prime Minister Tusk, a liberal conservative, is making strong efforts to strengthen solidarity between EU member states. It is of great importance to extend Poland's significance as a country that is highly respected within EU internal debates and as a country with a huge sense of responsibility for EU foreign policy during the chairmanship. The success of Tusk's policy in Brussels is also of great domestic political importance. During the Polish presidency, domestic parliamentary elections occur in October 2011. In preparation for these elections, Tusk addresses direct words to his critics. In my judgment, those who are in stern opposition to my government should endeavor to spare our home country any imprudent, aggressive verbal attacks against the interests of the Polish nation. With the Polish leadership comes the end of the 6-month-long Hungarian EU presidency. Hungarian Minister for Foreign Affairs Janos Martonyi presented a balance sheet of Hungarian efforts in the EU Council during a press conference in Brussels.
Last 4 days has indeed been a crucial period for Europe. We had extraordinary challenges, and our basic objective was, which was also reflected in our program, that we wanted to make Europe somewhat stronger than it was when we started our rotating presidency.
At the center of the Hungarian program for a strong Europe stood the promotion of the Europe 2020 agenda and expansion of the Schengen zone. Martonyi said these 2 points had been advanced effectively. Among the changes, Martonyi highlighted the European debt crisis, leading to destabilization of the whole Eurozone, the nuclear catastrophe in Japan, and the Arab Revolution. However, Martonyi didn't want to comment on the controversial debate about Hungary's draconian new media law. That was this week's report. Thank you and see you next time.